What's up everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. A few days ago, I asked everyone which characters they liked the most, and then did a poll using some of those characters. A lot of people voted on the humans, at least specifically Tien, Krillin, and Yamcha. So today we're doing a scenario covering them. The one I'm doing is also a pretty popular suggestion. Obviously after what happened with androids 17 and 18, it shows that humans becoming androids can make them really powerful, and with someone like Bulma on their side, what would have happened if Bulma turned these three into androids just like Jiro did? For this video, we'll be setting a like goal of 4,000 likes. If we hit that, I'll continue with another part and make this into a full series. Anyways, let's begin here. Following the events of the Cell Saga, everyone has a lot to think about. Besides witnessing the awesome power of Gohan and Cell, a lot of people realize that they might be falling behind, specifically the three human fighters. And especially since Goku's not around anymore, they realize they kinda need to pick up the pace somehow. But how can they make themselves stronger? Unlike Saiyans, it's a lot harder for them to break their limits. Saiyans get stronger when closer to death, and they have transformations. It's a pretty unfair advantage if you ask them. Could they ever hope to live up to the power of Goku, Gohan, and Vegeta? Even Piccolo at least has his own ways of getting ahead. And what do the humans have? They could learn techniques such as Kaioken and other things from King Kai, but that's really it. They only have techniques to rely on, no transformations and no special tricks. Tien especially starts thinking about this. Out of the three of them, he definitely would seem like the most motivated to fight. He did keep training after all. And he keeps racking his brain trying to think about what he could do. He considers going to King Kai. The training there before was pretty helpful, and if he goes back again, maybe he can learn Kaioken like what Goku has. But would that really work for him? I mean, it would give him a nice boost in power. Although the boost wouldn't be too substantial, and it would be kinda hard for him to maintain. He keeps that in mind though, but there's gotta be another way to make himself stronger, right? And then it hits him. He flies over to Capsule Corp with the idea in mind. It's a pretty weird question and it's a lot to ask for Bulma, but he goes ahead and asks it. Does she still have the blueprints for the androids and all that research that Jiro had? Well yeah, of course she saved everything. That was pretty valuable to have. And he just flat out tells her. He wants to become an android too. He wants her to modify him in order to be like those cyborgs that they fought before. Bulma's confused. Does he really want to do that? And Tien says he does. This would be a great way to help him get stronger. And without Goku here, they need as many strong people to protect Earth as possible in case something bad happens again. This could be very beneficial for everyone. Plus, Bulma will get some research along the way. He's literally offering himself as a human subject for a project for her. And the best part is, it's not like there's any ethical concerns. Unlike the other androids, Tien is willingly agreeing to do this. It's only up to Bulma whether she wants to or not. She says it could be dangerous, but Tien's not worried. If Jiro was able to do it in a dingy lab, she could definitely do it with all the great resources she has. She could build upon his knowledge, use better technology. She can make him more efficient. Well, since he's so enthusiastic about it, she agrees to it, but she hopes he knows the risk. He agrees and goes along with it. It takes a bit of time. She ends up doing some research looking through Jiro's work. Making an infinite energy engine isn't actually too hard. She already has the blueprints from Jiro, and she has the technology to shrink things. She could possibly build a more powerful engine if anything, and shrink it down enough so it's compact enough to fit inside a Tien. Besides that, there's a bunch of other things that goes along with becoming an android. And it's a pretty long process, but with the great resources and research she has, and even help from her father, it's a lot less arduous than what Jiro had to do. It's done one bit at a time. First his arms modified, then his legs, then his head, and finally his body, where the infinite energy engine is installed. All the modifications are in him. Tien stands up, and it's a weird feeling. He feels energy flowing through him, but it's not the ki that he normally feels. Not only that, but he feels stronger. His body's more durable. And at first, he almost can't even control his power. He was already strong to begin with. So imagine taking an already strong person and modifying them. With 17 and 18, they were probably just normal people beforehand. Tien's an expert martial artist, who also had great strength and ki control to go along with it. He immediately notices how high his power is. Even when he tries to leave the room, he opens a door and accidentally rips off the hinges, as well as most of the wall with it. He apologizes profusely, but Bulma's actually impressed. These fighters are all great at ki control after all. And if even he can't control power like that, it just shows how strong he is. He tells Krillin and Yamcha about this too. Yamcha's a little bit nervous about it. Being modified to be an android, that would be weird. And couldn't things go wrong? But Tien shows off his power. He begins training with them. And not only is he incredibly stronger than them right now, but he doesn't get worn out at all. They go at it for about an hour or so. Krillin and Yamcha are starting to feel a bit worn out, but Tien doesn't feel anything. This is amazing. Obviously he knew about the infinite energy, but he didn't know it would be this exhilarating. It's also a bit weird for Krillin too. He is dating Android 18 right now after all, and he doesn't know what she would think about this. Wouldn't it be kind of offensive to her? I mean, given her history of how she was modified and all the terrible things she and 17 went through. He even talks to her about it, and she's actually pretty apathetic about it. It's not like he's teaming up with Jiro or anything. She wouldn't be offended. And if it makes him stronger, then whatever. And as for Yamcha, it's more of an issue of him trying to boost his confidence for it. He tries to hide it, but he is a little bit terrified about becoming an android. Although when it actually happens, he's thrilled. Krillin and Yamcha are then modified afterwards. and they feel the same way as Tien. It's amazing. Of course, the other fighters catch wind of this. Obviously, Vegeta would find out first since he's close to Bulma, and then eventually Piccolo and Gohan hear about it too. Vegeta just laughs at it. They need to be genetically modified to get ahead of him. That just goes to show the power of Saiyans. Gohan thinks it's pretty awesome, and Piccolo thinks it's kinda weird. But hey, if it makes for stronger fighters, then so be it. And obviously with these modifications, everyone's gonna be way more motivated to train. This mostly applies to Krillin and Yamcha. Tien never had that problem, but Krillin and Yamcha could definitely use that motivation during this time period. They don't want all those modifications and android powers to go to waste after all. Krillin's already got a great training partner at home who's also an android, and as for Tien and Yamcha, they could just train together. They could even spar with Gohan and Piccolo occasionally, keeping up with their training too. Now I know you all have one big question on your minds right now. You're leaving out the most important character, Chaozu. Chaozu would simply be way too overpowered if they gave him android powers. You don't want a menace like that running around now, do you? Nah, obviously he could use it the most. He gets the modifications too. Just for fun basically. Tien's glad that he thought of this. It's amazing that the best thing they could do with their human biology. The Saiyans have their transformations, the Namekians have their fusions and regenerations, and as for the humans, they have this now, although they could possibly even go way beyond that. What if they visit King Kai and get some advice from him? Well, he is dead now because of Goku. It's kinda hard to contact him without Kami now, but hey, you know what? This is good enough as is. They'll keep that in the back of their mind though. 7 years pass. Gohan and Piccolo get a little bit more training, but not too much, although this does help Gohan keep up with his power. So there is a little bit of an advantage there at least, but he's not going to be too incredibly stronger. The main focus is obviously the 4 humans. 7 years of training with these upgraded bodies and infinite energy is huge for them. Hell, even 18 would benefit from this too since she'd be training with Krillin. And soon enough, they'll have the perfect opportunity to test this power. Another world tournament is beginning soon, and Goku's even coming back for it. And this time there's 3 new contenders, Tenshinhan, Yamcha, and Chaozu all enter. And obviously Krillin's still in it. They're all hyped up. Of course, the other opponents won't be too much trouble for them, but mainly, they're ready to fight each other and their friends. That's going to be the real challenge. Goku's brought back to Earth temporarily, and everyone's glad to see him again. It's actually pretty surprising for him to see this. His best friend is an android now, as well as the other humans too. He even jokes with Krillin. Does that mean his baby's a robot since it's 2 androids that had her? He just gives Goku a blank stare. That's not how it works, Goku. But more importantly, Goku asks about his power. If they're not able to fight together in a tournament somehow, Goku wants to at least try and fight Krillin later on. But what does Vegeta think of all this? At first he scoffed at the idea of them becoming androids, but of course deep down he realized that this would make them a lot stronger. And he's not jealous, but he's kind of weirded out about the fact that they use this to become stronger. He's been putting in hard work, and ever since they became androids, he's been training even harder than normal. He doesn't need a crutch like them. He's become a lot stronger as well, even unlocking Super Saiyan 2, beyond just his base getting stronger. So the tournament itself begins, and at first there's only one real major change. The first match is between Krillin and Tenshinhan. So even though the tournament is going to get crashed soon, there's still at least one good match going on. And this fight was planned too. They asked Chaozu to switch the numbers around so they could fight first, just in case they wouldn't get the chance to fight later on. And this is a perfect display for everyone else to see how strong the humans are now. These are the 2 strongest humans going at it. Tien's got a slight advantage in power, but Krillin's got a slight advantage in techniques. That doesn't mean Tien has bad techniques or strategy. It just makes the fight very close. It's an explosive battle, and the craziest part is no one can even sense it going on. Obviously the others knew that they can't sense androids, but it's just weird seeing Krillin and Tenshinhan fighting and not being able to sense them. That's something that they would normally be able to feel. They make great use of their infinite energy too. They can use all their techniques and abilities to their fullest power. They don't have to hold anything back anymore. They no longer need to worry about running out of energy or stamina. And then Tien tries something he hasn't in a while. First, he activates the 4 witches technique. He gets 2 extra arms on his back, which gives him an advantage against Krillin. And even though this will split up his power, he uses the multi-form. This helps trip up Krillin. There's 4 of him, 12 eyes watching Krillin, and 16 arms fighting against him. Krillin puts up a good fight, and eventually this ends in a beam strike. The 4 of them each launch Kikoho, and Krillin has only one way to fend them off. He charges a scatter Kamehameha, launching it upwards as it falls back down, trying to block all the beams at once. But with 4 versus 1, it makes it a bit hard, and Tien ends up winning the fight. Everyone else is hyped to fight too. This is a great start to the tournament, but unfortunately it does get crashed by Spopovich and Yamu, and a lot of that goes pretty much normal. They steal Gohan's energy, Shin and Kibito reveal themselves, and you know the rest. But with the humans here, this is going to have a huge effect on what happens next. First of all, they have 3 extra people joining them, Tenshinhan, Yamcha, and Chaozu, and of course Krillin's obviously still there. The 3 Saiyans are ready for what's ahead too. Vegeta and Gohan are a bit stronger than normal, and as for Goku, he's still done the same training that he did in Otherworld. So even if they are going to face a threat, it doesn't really matter. When Boris spots everyone, he's actually a bit concerned. They have so many fighters here against them. If he's going to do a sneak attack, he needs to work quickly and swiftly. He can't hesitate, and he has to choose who to kill. He aims for Kibito, but his sneak attack is stopped before it even happens. With how amazing his eyesight is, Tien's able to pick up subtle movements from Dabura before he even attacks. Dabura appears in front of everyone with a beam charge, ready to kill Kibito, but Tien jumps in front quickly, launching his own beam to counter it. Shin and Kibito are concerned at first. Obviously because Dabura is very strong, but if they fight him, they're just going to be giving off energy. But Tien tells them not to worry. The humans don't have energy that can be stolen. Sure, they still have some organic ki left, but a lot of their energy now is mechanical. And Shin's amazed to hear this. That's right, there's no way they could steal their energy for Buu. And although the Saiyans are ready to fight, as well as Piccolo, they're kind of put to the side. Shin says they need to be extra safe about this. The humans are going to go fight everyone, and if they need help, the Saiyans can jump in. But this is great. They won't be giving off any energy. The only energy there will be from the other people that they're fighting. Dabura's already retreated back into the ship, and the 4 humans rush in and storm the ship. Pui Pui's not an issue, nor is Yakon. The main event is Dabura himself. And even though the humans were strong, one of them alone might not be enough to take on Dabura. Tien realized that before when he countered that attack. He was using his maximum power to deflect that, and who knows if Dabura was using his full power at that point. Yamcha and Krillin decide to step up together and tell Chaozu to support them from the sides. Dabura chuckles, ready to fight them. He draws his sword out and launches towards them. But midair he then freezes. He dropped his guard, and he looks over. Chaozu has his hand out, freezing Dabura midair. Dabura's guard was too low. He tries breaking free from it, but it's already too late. Yamcha and Krillin begin attacking him together. The two first start with a combo attack of kicks and punches, working with some amazing synergy, and then they break out some of their own special techniques. Krillin hits Dabura with an uppercut, sending him upwards and then throwing a Kienzan towards him. Dabura is only barely able to dodge, and it ends up cutting his face a bit. But this is more so a distraction. Dabura is then hit in the back of the head with something. It's a spirit ball from Yamcha. Yamcha begins swinging his fingers around directing the ball, and he even creates another one too. Both of the attacks are strong, and it keeps Dabura basically stunned midair while Krillin charges his own attack. He launches a massive Kamehameha at Dabura, and at the last second before it hits, Dabura powers up and tries to break free, slicing the beam in half. But then he's hit in the back by 2 more powerful beams. Tien has joined too. He and Chaozu stuck together, launching Dodonpas. And now Dabura is getting pissed off, and that means Dabura is getting sloppy right now. Oh, that sounds kind of weird out of context.
Master Babidi, I'm getting f***ing head right now.
Very well, What? What the f*** are you doing, Dabura?
Need I explain any more, Master Babidi?
No, I can clearly see what you're doing. Just don't do it so close to Martin Buu's egg.
With 4 incredible fighters against him, he's getting overwhelmed, and the 4 of them all attack together at once, and with this combined effort, they defeat him, finally making their way to the bottom of the ship finding Babidi. And obviously he's pretty easy to kill. He didn't even get close to the energy he needed, he only got what he got from Gohan. Shin and Kibito breathe a sigh of relief, glad that this all went well. It's pretty interesting to see how strong these Earthlings are. Yeah, it's pretty natural that the Saiyans are strong, but they're impressed with these Earthlings. Who knows, maybe this isn't the last they see of them, and with the peace restored, they all go back to the tournament, and of course it still had to go on without them. And luckily for Krillin, his wife ended up winning. Or at least she almost won but then fell to Mr. Satan. But they both got paid, so it doesn't even matter. And Goku's finally able to spar with everyone too, while also getting to spend some time with his family. Unfortunately, because they did stop Buu, it's a double-edged sword. Goku's gonna stay dead, at least for the time being. But they're glad they at least got to see him again. And actually, this is the perfect chance. Krillin asked, is there any way he can get into contact with King Kai and get them to train with him? Oh yeah, Goku says that won't be hard at all. Once he's back in Otherworld, he'll be sure to tell King Kai. And they'll work out the details. This is great. Krillin's hyped up to train with him, hoping that he can learn Kaioken. And Yamcha's even excited to join too. But surprisingly, Tien says that he doesn't want to go. Why not? This was his idea after all. Well, he actually has a better idea in mind. He was speaking to the Kais before, and they decided they'll actually take him on as a student. He's going to be training under Shin and Kibito. But he does wish them the best with King Kai. That should work pretty well, and they will get to see Goku. As for Vegeta, Gohan, and Piccolo, they're going to continue with their own things here on Earth. But with how strong the humans are getting, they're going to try not to fall behind. Especially Vegeta. And just because Vegeta wanted it so badly, Vegeta and Goku end up fighting too. And instead of a death match, it's an all-out battle that's pretty friendly. I mean, we've given the humans enough good stuff. We gotta throw Vegeta a bone too. Goku even shows off Super Saiyan 3. He knows Goku was holding back, so he pressured Goku into using it. It lets Vegeta know that Goku's ahead, but Vegeta's content. He got the fight that he wanted, and now he has another goal to work towards. Maybe Super Saiyan 3 would be nice for him. And especially with what's about to come next, they're gonna need as much power as they can get. But we'll be saving that for the next part and everything beyond that. This is where we'll leave off for now. So, what did you guys think about this video? And what do you think is going to happen next time if we continue? Leave any thoughts and suggestions in the comments below. I'll be sure to take them out to see what you guys think. As always, if you liked the video, be sure to drop a like. And let's try to hit that like goal from the beginning of the video so we can get another part of the series. If you haven't already, why not subscribe? As well as clicking the bell icon so you're notified about any future parts of this What If, or any other videos that I upload on my channel. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.